Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel DataCraft. In the previous part of our Google case study on Gmail label usage and user efficiency, we explored the data we'll be working with. If you missed it, you can find the link in the description below or check out the playlist on your screen now. So, today we are tackling our first specific question, which is, can you find out the number of labels created by each user? We are interested in understanding how many labels users typically create to manage their emails. Well, so the question is, how many labels has each user created? Or understanding this will get a sense of how actively users are customizing their Gmail experience through labels. So, to answer this, we'll be using SQL, structured query language, which is a very powerful language for querying the databases. Remember our email label table. Do you? Well, not then you can check out the first part of the video as I have already mentioned. Well, it contains the label ID, the user ID who created it, and the created date. So, our goal is to count the number of unique labels associated with each user ID. Okay, so to do this in SQL, we will use a few key commands. Well, let me write down the SQL query, then I'll break this down step by step. All right. Well, it's a very easy one. Labels, group by user underscore ID, order by underscore ID. We close it. Okay. So don't worry if you didn't understand this. If you're a beginner, well, I'll break this down like step by step. Okay. So now select user ID. Okay, sorry, I missed the count function. I'm extremely sorry for this. Oops. Count label ID, close the bracket, as number of labels created. Okay, now this sums up. So what is this? Let me break down step by step. So this is what we want to see in our results, right? We are selecting the user ID. Okay, we are selecting this user ID to know which user the count belongs to. Then we are using this count function and the label ID function on what? The label ID column. Okay, so this will count the number of the label IDs for each group. We are also giving this count a more descriptive name using as number of labels created. Got it? So now from where? From email label column tables. So this tells the database which table we are getting our data from. In this case, it's the emails labels table, right? Then we use the group by user ID. This is a crucial step. The group by clause groups all the rows in the email labels table that have the same user ID. Okay, so all the labels created by the user 101 will be in one group, all the labels by user 102 in another, and so on. All right, the count function here then operates within each of these groups. Okay, then the out order by user ID. This is optional but helpful for readability. It simply sorts the result by the user ID in ascending order. Now when we run this query, we'll get a results, okay, which looks something like, yes, so we get a results which looks something like this, right? Here you can see the user ID, number of labels, and everything. All right, you got it. Well, as you can see here, which you could see that the output, it showed us that how many labels each users in our data set has created. For example, 101 has created two labels, while user 102 has created only one. Well, this was a very simple query which provides the initial insights. We can now analyze this output further to understand the distribution of label creation across our user base. Okay, are most users creating just a few labels, or do we have significant number of power users with many custom labels? So that's how we can use the SQL to answer our first question. All right, in the next video, we'll be diving into another aspect of Gmail label usage. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. All right, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this query. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.